Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, License to Roam. You can follow me on Twitter/X at Edward Stratman. And if you enjoy the video, I would really appreciate a like, subscribe, and any comments as I continue to grow the channel. All right, for this analysis, I'll be focusing on Marc-Andre Ter Stegen's superb showing against Cadiz as he continued his excellent form and yet again underlined why he's such a difference maker for Xavi's Barcelona, who maintained their slim La Liga title hopes with this crucial win as they now turn their focus on the second leg of the Champions League quarterfinal with PSG, obviously showing tremendous concentration, focus, decision-making, judgment, and getting it right despite going long periods of inactivity. The experienced keeper's class shone again, with this outing serving as a further testament to just how valuable he is to Barca in and out of possession in their quest for glory, both in Europe and domestically. Obviously, onto the analysis of his latest key contribution against Cadiz, where he came up big for his team once more, and there's no better place to start than his incredible second half stop that really helped them secure all 3 points. Obviously, here it is, just a magnificent diving stop, just remarkable the way he powered and propelled himself across and sort of upwards a little bit to make this phenomenal save from Samasiku. Just great reflexes, great reaction, great coordination, great timing at full stretch, and obviously parried the ball out for a corner, just showing his athleticism, great coordination, just a masterful moment. And as you can see in the replay, it just sort of serves as a further sort of example of just how brilliant this stop really was. And it really did secure all 3 points for Barcelona in this tough game and this tough period where they've got to navigate a lot of games in a sort of short amount of time. So, and then to obviously back that up from the following corner, he made a really great claim, really authoritative, and just sort of summed him up how good he is, switching his focus, 2 quick fire actions, just really exemplified his class and why he's one of the greatest and best in the world. And just really smart sort of footwork and reading of the play, reading of the ball's trajectory on both occasions, just really summed up why he's such a master between the posts. And obviously, there wasn't heaps of saves he had to do or huge actions, but we'll get onto the possession stuff, which was obviously where most of his work was done. But yeah, this one here from Hernandez obviously saved this blast really well. It was struck with great venom, but he was well positioned to deal with it, and he had his footwork spot on and he reacted quickly. His reflexes held him in good stead, and the way he sets his feet to explode in all manner of directions just really helps him come up big so he can get down, across, or a combination of both on the diagonal. So just a really powerful and athletic keeper, and this was a great stop just to do what he had to do in the situation, even though it's a pretty regulation one for him. This one here was pretty good, how Kabasi had a little bit of a lapse in concentration, but luckily Ter Stegen had the awareness and the anticipation to mop up and salvage the situation, so it didn't turn into a pretty bad misstep. So yeah, just nicely alert to things and making good decisions, coherent, and with very much a lot of clarity, just using all that experience and just such a safe pair of hands more often than not. Obviously onto the possession side of things, and he was such a key man to be the free man often with Cadiz going man for man in those high pressing situations, and just having him as that spare man was such an outlet, basically like an extra midfielder or outfield player. And there he just perfectly spots Fermin Lopez, who's in a forward facing posture and has all that space ahead of him, obviously with Barcelona's forwards pinning their markers. So just great work, obviously one to Fermin Lopez to dynamically occupy the space to make sure that Ter Stegen had the option, who's actually obviously Barcelona's build up players have helped open that passing lane as well, which they deserve credit. And then execution is just so impressive. He just waits for that weakness in the defensive shape, Ter Stegen, and then duly exploits it. So just a really nice bit of play to get Barcelona up the field. Same as this situation too, obviously getting pressed high. He's so calm and composed and works out as such a great press breaker. So yeah, obviously so press resistant, so he has no trouble, inviting the press like that. And then he sees Torres drop deep, and he essentially takes 6 players out of the equation with this one pass. And it's just such an elite aspect of his armory, and it breathes so much life and into Xavi's team and their build up, and just a real X factor. And this showed it once more. This is sort of a lot of the time, yeah, he was forming that 3v2, kind of the base position, allows the centre-backs to spread a bit wider, to be outlets, stretches out that first line of pressure. Obviously, Ter Stegen's very comfortable dribbling the ball. He can sort of provoke the press and then open and pass lanes and find the free man directly or via a third-man combination, just with that pass mastery and resistance to the pressure. And he obviously knows the opposition pressing structure, knows the Barcelona's offensive structure. He's so aware of it, and he reads the play and makes excellent decisions where to go from there. So just really nice sort of base framework he gives himself always. Another situation there was just really nice how he used his body shape. And in this situation, it looks like he's going long, but instead he disguises the pass superbly with his body and his eyes. Formed that initial sort of 3v2, and then he finds Romeu perfectly behind that first line of pressure. So just so smart, intelligence, knows when to provoke the pressure to open the space, and he's just so calculated in all that he does in the build-up, and the way he assesses situations so calmly and coherently is just a massive plus for Barca. another situation here where he's got that 5v4 going, draws the press, and then obviously in this situation he goes long. The Cadiz structures completely spread out. Barcelona can then win the second ball in midfield and attack again against that retreating sort of back line of Cadiz, who don't have a huge amount of support around them due to the high press. So helps unlock Barcelona's sort of strengths in many ways, and just the distribution and the quality decision making so key, and just the comfort on the ball and in everything he does really. So that's another nice example. Obviously here they were getting pressed high and he obviously went to go long. He didn't just boot it up the field aimlessly. He noticed Fermin Lopez wins the header onto Torres. They've got a 2v1 going there. Torres can get the flick on and then they're off to the races. So just weighs up situations so well and just has such a positive influence in all they do, whether it's short, medium or longer passing. He just makes it all tick really well for them. This is another excellent example. Drawn the press. Obviously, the pressures initially come. The cover shadow's being used to block the lane there. So, and he's so comfortable under pressure, waits for that passing lane to be open, which Barcelona's build-up structure helps create. Then he just spots Felix dropping deep, who's well aware of that space. So just really smart stuff by Barcelona. Again, the composure and the decision-making and just executing things with aplomb over a variety of distances just to really inject some impetus into their attacks. And obviously here, he couldn't initially beat the press with one of those really line-breaking passes, the penetrative ones. Instead, he's just allowed that third-man combination to happen nicely there, but they can still beat the press. Obviously, Cadiz is pretty fixated with their direct opponents there, so allows Barcelona to just play that bounce pass and they can start again, reset the attack and recycle the possession. So it was really great the way he would just really wait. He didn't mind if he couldn't play the progressive pass. He just baited the opposition into having a structural issue or just having a weakness. And then, yeah, once they found it, they pounced, and it really helped them in this game, even though it was not by any means their best game, but it just was a nice game to showcase Ter Stegen's ability on the ball and just some of the structures and frameworks they used to get the best out of him and in their build-up to really propel them up the field. Obviously, to finish up, there's a save map. Didn't have heaps to do, but was just really clinical in all he did and came up big when his team needed him on a couple of occasions, which is what you need from your goalkeepers, because they can have a brilliant game, but they just make that one error and it can really cost you. But didn't have much to do, but he did that really well. So that's what you really want from your keeper, and he proved why he's just such an elite operator. There's obviously the passing map, only had 3 unsuccessful, 25 completed in a range of sort of directions and distances. So just such a key weapon for Barcelona. And this was another sort of way that came through. Yeah, just does it all as a keeper, what you want. They've got to be multifaceted in the modern game, and he certainly is that. So obviously, that's the end of the analysis on Barcelona's superb goalkeeper, Ter Stegen. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. Would really appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time to watch the video, and have a great day. Stay tuned for the next analysis.